Hi there. We are going to create an activity in Turnitin. The first thing you want to do is click on Add Content Block. Then go to Messages and Activities and down to LTI and SCORM. Once you're there, you're going to choose your school's Turnitin.com. So I'm going to choose Hampshire. Now a content block comes up where I can name the assignment. So just call that Turnitin test. I can describe the assignment and then hit save and configure. Now the activity has been saved as a draft. Go ahead and X out of that and click on settings. A lot of these settings are really important if you want to be able to personalize the assignment. You can choose the number of points, the start date, due date, and feedback release date. The start date is the first day you're going to allow students to start turning things in. The due date is the last day students can turn things in before they're considered late. And the feedback release date is the date that any comments or feedback you've given will be available for the students to take a look at. You can give assignment instructions right there, and then allow submission of any file type. That's where you can choose to allow only documents or PDFs, or you can allow them to turn in Google Drive files, PowerPoints, anything. So I'm going to go ahead and click yes. Now the optional settings have a lot of really good stuff. Allow late submissions, yes or no. Based on that due date up above, the assignment will still be considered late if you allow late submissions, but the students will at least be able to turn it in. So that's probably a good thing to say yes to. Totally up to you. Compare submitted papers against the following sources. Student paper repository. That's where Turnitin keeps all of the papers that have been turned in by other kids across the country since Turnitin started. So that's a really important thing. When you think about all of the places online that kids can buy term papers from each other, with this student paper repository, those papers cease to be effective. Current and archived website content, it's great. No more copied and pasted papers. Periodicals, journals, and publications. I would say that you want all three boxes of those checked because you want Turnitin to compare submitted papers against any sources of plagiarism that Turnitin has at their disposal. Originality report generation and resubmissions. This is really great. You can choose to generate reports immediately and not allow students to resubmit, generate reports immediately and allow students to resubmit up until the due date, and generate reports on the due date and allow students to resubmit up until the due date. I like that middle option where kids get to see their originality report, so they get to see whether or not they royally screwed up and they're able to resubmit their work and do better. But again, totally up to you. Exclude bibliographic materials from similarity index for all papers in this assignment. So if something's actually in the bibliography of their assignment, it will exclude it from the originality report. I think it's better to be able to scroll through and take a look at that yourself and to judge for yourself. But if you want Turnitin to go ahead and exclude that for you, go ahead. Exclude quoted materials from similarity index for all papers in this assignment. Again, same answer. Exclude small matches. I'd probably go ahead and click yes on that, but again, up to you. Allow students to view originality reports. Like I said, I think that's a good idea. And submissions to this assignment will be stored in standard paper repository or not stored in the standard paper repository. I think that you'd want that. You want your students' work stored in the paper repository. That's just because you don't want little brothers 2 years from now turning in their older brother's work from a couple of years ago. And with this feature, you get to guard against that. Add peer mark assignments. You'll see what that's all about in another module, but I think peer mark's a great thing. Add a rubric to this assignment. You can either choose to not have a rubric, use one of the preloaded rubrics, or check out the tutorial from Turnitin in the module on creating your own rubric. Enable grammar checking using ETS eRater. It's amazing. No more red pen. Turnitin will do that for you. And select ETS handbook, high school, middle school, elementary, or English learners. I'm going to go ahead and choose high school, United States English, and I do wanted to check spelling, grammar, usage, mechanics, and style. Would you like to save these options as your defaults for the future? Sure. If these are the things that I think I'm going to choose all the time, then that would mean I don't have to click on optional settings unless I'm adding that peer mark assignment in the future. And I'm going to go ahead and submit. Now I've got all of my settings saved. Everything's ready to go. I can go ahead and hit publish. Now, those Turnitin dates that I chose supersede these dates here through Haiku. So I'm going to leave it at any time because these dates really don't matter anyway. I'm going to choose which page I'd like it on, where on the page I'd like it, and either as a link or embedded. I've noticed that it's a lot less glitchy if you go ahead and do it as a link and have it open in its own window. And then I'm going to hit finish. And now there it is. There's my beautiful description that I typed in, the title of the assignment, and here's where you click to have it open in its own window. Now I'm the instructor, so I'm not going to be able to turn it in. It's just, this is the assignment inbox where, as the instructor, I can go ahead and click on that, take me to the assignment inbox, and go ahead and give feedback, grade the papers, etc. When students click on that, it's going to take them to a window where they can go ahead and turn in an assignment. That's about it. That's really all there is to it. Please shoot me an email if you have any questions. Otherwise, I will see you in the discussions.